And that was a road trip all the way from Toronto to Vancouver, and it was like 5,000 kilometer road trip. Most of the time it's in a jungle kind of area, but what we saw was I can tell you with utmost confidence that that was the right decision I've made in my life. Had we took that right turn, I don't know what would have happened at that time, right? It was totally muddy area, but the road was full of mud, and I was not sure that we would be able to pass this road or we would stuck or not. But during that time, all three of us said that let's just take U-turn and let's just go back to highway and we'll find something else, right? This is not the place where we should. Basically, none of us were getting a vibe that we should camp here or we should spend a night here. We decided to not take that right turn and just take U-turn and go back. Now here comes the dangerous part. So all three of us decided to not take that right turn and just go back to highway and figure something else out after reaching highway, right? During that time, our only goal was to take a U-turn and just go back. We took a U-turn and we started going back, and we arrived at the same place where the dig was there, right? Now when we went, the dig was not sufficiently filled, so we again came out and we filled that dig. And what we have noticed was like footsteps, right? Very big footsteps of animals, wild animals. And we thought like, let's just fill this dig and just go back to car. I remember like it took us just 1 minute or 1 or 2 minutes to fill that dig, but those 2 minutes I felt like years. It was like the dig would just not fill. It was not up to filling it. It was not in a mood to get filled so that our car can pass by, right? But we just kept filling that dig, and eventually we have managed to get our car out of that dig, and we just rest our car, like just kept going and going. It was very gravel road and our car was making weird sound. All those experiences, we have stopped music and just kept going. We don't like just we all we want to do is just reach that highway so that we can figure something else out, right? And again after 2 minutes that cemetery comes by, right? Now the cemetery is a normal thing, but in a jungle kind of area in evening time when it is almost sunset, the battery just died, so I was transferring a little juice from my laptop. So I will continue that. It was really scary, I would say. I can't describe it. If you would have been there with us, then only you could have felt that fear, right? And we got back in car and we continued, and we noticed that cemetery back. Now cemetery is very normal thing, but when you are in jungle middle of nowhere and when it's almost sunset, that is not the time when cemetery is normal. That is not the perfect time, and I'm getting chills right now because I'm at the place where I should not describing such kind of thing, and this airplane is making me more nervous to tell that story. So first we'll let the plane go away, right? And we continued and we came to a spot where we have noticed those ATV guys. Now we went for the first time to find that camping place. There were only 2 or 3 people with their ATV, and while we came back, what we have noticed was 20 or 30 people in their ATV. We have noticed this thing from very far, and that is when we realized that something is not just right. We are in trouble, and all those thoughts, all those negative things, all those scary things which come in your mind, we just slowed down our car and we just kept discussing like what we should do, what we should where we should go. There is only one way to go out, so we just kept going. And what we noticed was like a lot of people with their ATV, right? and we just thought, let it be, let it be, let's just go, we will deal with whatever it is after reaching that point. We just don't want to think. The only thing which we thought at that time was, we don't want to think at all, right? We don't want to think anything at all, right? And we just continued. We came close to those ATV people, and that is when we realized that sometimes it's nothing but our thought process. Sometimes the only thing we need to deal with is our thought process. There is nothing else we need to deal with. So what we noticed was, like, those ATV people waving at us, smiling at us. They were like, why these people are even here? This is the place where no one comes. They were totally surprised, just like us. And they were not like just guys, or they were not like adults. Some people were with their family as well. So it was totally not something which we were thinking. And we did the same thing. We waved at them, we smiled at them, and we continued for the highway, right? It became totally dark, but after another 2 or 3 minutes, we reached the highway, and I can't describe how we were feeling at that very moment. It was much of a big deal for me, for some people. Like, while describing this, I can't make it up to the point where you can feel it, where people can feel our feelings. So that is the feeling which can be experienced when you are in that moment, when you are at that place. So yeah, the biggest takeaway from these experiences, like, we have learned 2 most important things from this. First is, never completely believe what someone on the internet is saying. And the second thing is, sometimes all you need to deal with is your thought process. All you need to deal with is your thinking. How you think about, how you perceive some things, how you think about some things, how you think about the moment, how you think about your experiences, how you think about what is in front of you, right? So that is the biggest takeaway from this experience. And that was, like, perhaps I haven't experienced such kind of thing ever. The other thrill which I've experienced apart from that thing is the bungee jumping, which was planned, which was like completely planned. We have planned for that thing, right? We thought, we wanna do this, we want this thrill. But this particular thing, it was not planned at all. It just happened. And when we were in that particular situation, it was damn scary. And yeah, so that was the story of my only dangerous experience in Canada. I hope you liked it, and I've got a lot of other stories from that particular road trip. I will try to make some other videos in which I can tell the stories and make you learn something from those stories, right? So that's it.